Dopamine, the brain's chemical messenger. Dopamine, often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter, is a crucial chemical in the human brain that plays an integral role in regulating mood, motivation, reward, and motor functions. As a cornerstone of the brain signaling system, dopamine's influence extends to a wide range of physical and psychological processes. Understanding dopamine's mechanisms, pathways, and implications provides valuable insight into its role in health and disease. Chemical nature and production. Dopamine is a monoamine neurotransmitter synthesized from the amino acid tyrosine. The process begins with tyrosine being converted into L-dopa, which is then decarboxylated to form dopamine. The primary sites of dopamine production in the brain include the substantia nigra, the ventral tegmental area, VTA, and the hypothalamus. These regions collectively orchestrate dopamine's diverse functions, ranging from motor control to hormonal regulation. The dopamine pathways. Dopamine exerts its effects through 4 key neural pathways, each associated with specific brain functions. Mesolimbic pathway, known as the reward pathway. This system connects the VTA to the nucleus accumbens. It is responsible for feelings of pleasure and reinforcement learning. Dysregulation in this pathway is often implicated in addiction and impulsive behaviors. Mesocortical pathway. This pathway links the VTA to the prefrontal cortex and plays a pivotal role in cognition, memory, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Dysfunction here is associated with conditions such as schizophrenia and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. ADHD, nigrostriatal pathway. Connecting the substantia nigra to the striatum, this pathway governs voluntary motor control. Degeneration of neurons in this pathway is a hallmark of Parkinson's disease. Tuberoinfundibular pathway. Originating in the hypothalamus, this pathway regulates the secretion of prolactin, a hormone critical for reproductive health and lactation. Functions of dopamine. Dopamine is a versatile neurotransmitter with diverse functions that include reward and motivation. Dopamine is central to the brain's reward system, driving behaviors associated with pleasure and positive reinforcement. It surges in anticipation of rewards, encouraging goal-directed actions. Motor control. Dopamine in the nigrostriatal pathway is essential for initiating and coordinating movements. A decline in dopamine levels can lead to motor dysfunction, as observed in Parkinson's disease. Learning and memory. Dopamine enhances learning by reinforcing the connection between stimuli and corresponding behaviors. It also plays a role in decision-making processes by signaling the potential benefits of specific actions. Mood regulation. Balanced dopamine levels are critical for emotional stability. Excess dopamine can result in symptoms of mania or psychosis, while insufficient levels are linked to depression and apathy. Hormonal regulation. Dopamine inhibits the release of prolactin from the pituitary gland, ensuring hormonal balance. Dopamine dysregulation. Disruptions in dopamine signaling are linked to numerous neurological and psychological disorders. Deficiency. Parkinson's disease. A loss of dopaminergic neurons in the substantia nigra leads to tremors, stiffness, and slowed movements. Depression. Reduced dopamine activity in the mesolimbic pathway contributes to feelings of hopelessness and lack of motivation. ADHD. Altered dopamine signaling in the prefrontal cortex impairs attention and impulse control. Excess. Schizophrenia. Overactivity in the mesolimbic pathway causes hallucinations and delusions. Addiction. Drugs such as cocaine and amphetamines overstimulate dopamine release, leading to dependency and tolerance. Dopamine and addiction. Addictive substances exploit dopamine's reward system, causing an artificial surge in dopamine levels. Over time, this overstimulation desensitizes dopamine receptors, requiring higher doses to achieve the same effect. This cycle perpetuates addiction and alters the brain's natural reward system, making recovery a challenging process. Therapeutic applications. Modulating dopamine levels is a cornerstone of treatment for various disorders. Parkinson's disease. Medications like L-Dopa replenish dopamine levels, alleviating motor symptoms. Schizophrenia. Antipsychotics that block dopamine receptors help reduce psychotic symptoms. ADHD. Stimulants such as methylphenidate enhance dopamine activity in the prefrontal cortex, improving focus and attention. Natural modulation of dopamine lifestyle factors significantly influence dopamine levels. Consuming foods rich in tyrosine, such as nuts and dairy, can boost dopamine production. Regular exercise enhances dopamine release, improving mood and motivation. Practices like meditation and mindfulness are also associated with better dopamine regulation, promoting mental well-being. Conclusion: dopamine is a vital neurotransmitter that governs an array of brain functions, from movement and motivation to reward and emotional regulation. Its role in health is profound, with imbalances contributing to a wide spectrum of disorders. Advances in our understanding of dopamine continue to pave the way for innovative treatments, underscoring its importance in neuroscience and medicine. By maintaining a healthy lifestyle and addressing imbalances when they arise, individuals can support optimal dopamine function and overall well-being.